Warning. The following podcast contains adult themes, including, but not limited to, adult language, adult dragon animorphs, problematic encounters with potential love interests, steampunk vampires, potentially unhealthy relationships, goblin kings, and hosts that read way too far into silly romance novels. The opinions expressed in this podcast are entirely those of the hosts. Listener discretion is advised.
Apart from the inside out so I can see myself from the inside. Oh, love, tearing me apart from
Hello, and welcome to Textual Tension, a love-hate relationship with romance novels. I am your co-host, Rachel.
And I am your co-host, Margie. Every other week, one of us is going to read a romance novel, and the other person is going to listen to the plot. And we are going to discuss it and review it. The person who has not read the romance novel knows nothing about it.
Not even the title.
Not even the title. So, there's a lot going on in the world of romance novels, guys. And we are the brave souls who are going to venture into this territory.
Romance novels are not just for middle-aged, single moms in the grocery store as you walk past UDF or even in the airport. Yeah, right. No. We love romance novels, guys.
Yeah.
And we think it's kind of sad that they kind of have a bad rap. But it's kind of justified.
That's because there's a lot of bad stuff out there, Rachel. So we're going to sift through the bad and the good and hopefully find some good ones out there, too. Mm-hmm. But a lot of them are just plain ridiculous.
Oh my god, they're so bad.
They're so bad. So, to get started, I am the one, Margie, who read a romance novel this week, and Rachel is going to be the one listening.
So, normally, guys, I would have absolutely no idea what was going on. This time around, I know the title.
But that's it.
And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's been really, really, really hard not to actually, tell each other what these are about.
Right.
Because they're so ridiculous, and some of the ones we've done have just been so buck wild that all I want to do is be like, oh my god, Margie. So, I've been really looking forward to this all week.
Well, this one kind of has, a link to our college days, too, and that's, a good segue.
God, why? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh, no.
There's a story. There's a backstory.
No.
Yes.
Great. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to tell you the story of how I found this book, and it is hilarious.
Is this the part that goes back to our college days?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
This is the part that goes back
to
our college days. So we have a mutual friend, Becca, who loves the movie Labyrinth as much as I do.
I love Labyrinth.
Yes.
It's such a good movie.
As much as we do.
Oh,
But
David Bowie.
But not Pan's Labyrinth, like Rachel said.
Yeah, no. David Bowie Labyrinth, giant cod pieces, really tight,
Sparkles,
leathery pants.
Sparkles.
Glitter everywhere.
Glitter.
That's so good.
So our other mutual friend, Janelle, knows that Becca loves Labyrinth and bought Becca a romance novel titled The Goblin King.
Okay.
Because that is who David Bowie's character is in the movie Labyrinth.
Right.
So, anyway, since then, Becca has collected romance novels with that title, The X-King. So,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. So, the Goblin King, the Highlander King, the whatever King, Lion King, I don't know.
I didn't know there were so many.
There's so many, apparently. There's so many.
This is such... When Margie first, told me about this idea for a pod, I'm like, how can there be that oh my god, guys, there's so much to unpack. Okay.
We need just a t-shirt that says that, unpack.
There's so
much to unpack.
Oh, this is
okay,
awful.
So one day I'm in Becca's car and I find a romance novel titled, ready for it? This is the title, this is the one we're doing this week.
I'm so ready.
The Nymph King.
Jesus Christ.
Oh boy. Okay,
man.
so, and I read the back and I saw that the main character was from Cincinnati. Homegirl, where you at? Oh wait, I know where you're at now. So when I came up with the idea of, when we hashed the idea for this podcast, I knew I wanted this to be one of the first episodes, and my god, it did not disappoint. Let me just tell you. So, before I have you read the description, because that's what's next, I need you to do me a favor, Rachel.
Yes.
I need you to hold on to your suspension of disbelief for dear life.
Oh god.
Just like a life raft in a tossing and turning sea. Like USS Nightmare, man. You hold on to that suspension of disbelief, okay?
Oh god. Okay. But wait. Before we start, real quick, I want to so we want to make sure we're looking out for you guys, and we realize that there's going to be some more mature topics that we're going to talk about with each of these novels. So before we start, we want to give the person that read the book, I want them to give a little bit of a disclaimer of very specific topics we're going to be talking about. That way, you kind of know what you're getting into with the episode and nothing kind of comes out of left field.
And also, like, if you decide, like, hey, this book actually is for me, I am going to give you, like, I may not go into it, but there are other themes in the book that may be problematic that I don't talk about in the podcast. So I'm going to tell you guys about that. I'm going to lay it down. There is, like, Stockholm Syndrome-esque, unfortunately, thankfully no sexual assault. There is some homophobia thrown in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So a little bit of Stockholm Syndrome, a little bit of homophobia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's, this is, I'm not going to get into that right now.
Here on Textual Tension, we like the word problematic. So when we get to something that is maybe a little bit heavy, maybe could come across and I'm not going to say offend people, but maybe like hit a little too close to home. We'll probably use that word. Yeah,
and we'll let you know. Like, we're not gonna, this is an enjoyable comedy podcast. That's what we're here for.
Exactly.
We're here for fun. So we're gonna do our best to be sensitive.
But you also, some of these books
are really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. And they're not, and the problem is, guys, is that the books aren't considerate. No. So we're trying to be considerate, but the books a lot of them are not. So I don't want to apologize in advance, but like also like
but just kind of
we're aware.
Yeah,
we're aware.
We are aware of what's going on. We're doing our best here. So
yeah. So those are really the only things that I could think of off the top of my head. If I think of anything else, we'll trigger warning.
Right.
Future Rachel cutting in here to say, we fucked up, guys. There's a lot of sexual assault in this one, so, this is your warning. Take it away, past Rachel and Margie.
So, but I'm gonna have you
read
the description.
Can I see the cover first?
Oh, yes.
Cover
okay.
First.
So, here's the cover. It is on my phone, guys, because I read it on my Kindle.
All right. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is gonna be in our show notes. I'm gonna go ahead and describe this to you. So everything sort of is underneath a filter that makes it look like it's underwater, kind of.
But like an underwater in a pool.
Yeah, very pool, not very ocean-y. It is just a dude from the waist up, but like enough of the waist that you can see that little like path to prosperity kind of V at the bottom. I don't think he's wearing pants. That's my guess.
He's not wearing pants for a lot of the book, I don't think.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so Gena Showalter, whose name is almost bigger than the title. Why is that a thing? I've noticed that. That's a thing. And I also am not really sure what this font is. So sure, great. A world of myth, mayhem, and love under the sea. Thanks, USA Today, for that great, great little caption that we got going.
So go ahead and scroll down, because you gotta read the description.
Oh, God. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Enter a world of dark seduction and powerful magic. Enter Atlantis. Females young and old, beautiful and plain, crave Valerian's touch. Isn't Valerian like a drug? I'm pretty sure it is.
Sounds like Viagra.
A little bit, yeah.
Sounds like.
None can resist his blatant sensuality and potent allure until he steals Shay Holling from a Florida beach and holds her prisoner in his underwater kingdom. The cynical Shay wants nothing to do with the mighty warlord, but she's inexplicably drawn to him, for underneath the warrior's arrogant beauty lies a complex and powerful man. A man whose caress is like fire. Now Valerian, I don't fucking know.
I've been doing Valerian.
Okay, must fight for the privilege of claiming her as his own, because there's one thing Shay doesn't know. Alright, you can't say that you're gonna fight for the privilege of someone if you fucking kidnapped her. That's not okay. Oh my God. Alright, hang on guys. We're gonna do a fun little segment here called Rachel Googles something.
So, and also, I want it pointed out that the fact that she's drawn to him is not inexplicable. They explain why in the book. Like, there's a specific reason why she's, like, attracted to him.
I fucking knew it.
What?
Okay, great.
What?
Valerian.
Oh, no!
Valerian root, I knew I'd heard this before, is something that helps you sleep.
Oh, no! Oh, my God, I did not know that!
And for anxiety.
Oh, my God!
It's a natural remedy, well, quote-unquote, natural remedy for insomnia and anxiety. I can't speak to the validity of it,
Wait,
but I
what?
knew it was.
That
okay.
is so messed up!
Okay, I knew it.
Oh my God. Okay, so now we're gonna go into some reviews that I picked up off of Goodreads.
Oh God, great.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
fantastic.
I'm only gonna do like one or two. Okay. So Shannon said, "This is a random book I picked up, not based on the cover, that's for sure. I bought out of boredom, so I was pleasantly surprised by its humor, sauciness, and the great chemistry between many of the characters. I've always been wary of books that throw up the Atlantis thing. Is that a thing?"
I did not know that was a thing,
I
but
didn't know it either, but I didn't mind it all here. It was fun and racy, and because this often comes up, Shay didn't annoy me. I understood her, so her stubbornness made sense and helped create some sizzling sexual tension. Valerian was adorable, though I'm not looking too closely at some of the ideas behind the nymphs. They reminded me a bit of Jade Black's Viking, so I give it 4 stars for being an enjoyable, spicy read, and for not being as cheesy as the cover.
okay.
So Kara said, "Sorry, Gena Showalter, Stockholm Syndrome isn't sexy."
This girl knows
She
what's
goes
up.
right into it. So these, like, yeah, the plot of the Nymph King, or any other Gena Showalter book, is essentially a porno. Valerian, the unbelievably sexy Nymph King. Nymphs are basically sex addicts, kidnaps Shay, a young, cynical woman who wants nothing to do with love. He drags her to Atlantis and basically tells her that he will have sex with her no matter how much she says no. I'm assuming that in the context of a romance novel, this seems sexy, but in reality I would have done whatever I could to get the hell away from him. In her defense, Shay fights her insane biological reaction to him and tries to escape a few times, but in the end, she always submits to him. Overall, I give The Nymph King 2 stars. I would have given it 1 star, but for what it is, a smutty romance novel, it does its job. And because I know that my best friend will most likely love it when I give it to her.
Oh my.
So, Carmen's comment is my favorite. This book spits on everything that feminism has been trying to accomplish for the last century.
Awesome! Oh man!
Okay, so I'm about to go into the plot of The Nymph King. But before I do that, I just want to give you guys a definition on Wikipedia of what a nymph is. A nymph is a mythological spirit of nature imagined as a beautiful maiden inhabiting rivers, woods, or other locations.
Valerian is a pretty princess. Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So it's already kind of incorrect. But anyway, so our story begins introducing Valerian, the king of the nymphs, with his legs wrapped
The
around...
king of insomnia.
The king of insomnia. Right. The king of the nymphs, with his legs wrapped around 3 naked asleep women in his bed.
Okay. Pause. That's just impressive. How in the hell are his legs 12 fucking feet long? Is he just like a spider but with 4 legs? Like, what the shit? Okay.
So we find out that Valerian and his army have taken over the Dragon Castle under the sea in Atlantis.
Under the sea.
Right. And like
Ariel, no.
these poor women who were in his bed, they just accidentally entered through a portal from the surface world and ended up in this castle. And now they're...
Okay,
yeah.
So you gave me this disclaimer, and I am holding on to my suspension of disbelief like a drowning woman in the middle of the Atlantic right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Pretty soon you're gonna be sucked down into the toilet bowl of Atlantis.
So here's the problem I see for a second. Oh man, these 2 women are so hot. I'm gonna bring them down into my world.
Oh no,
in
it's
Atlantis.
3. It's
3.
3.
Sorry, these 3 women are so hot. I'm gonna bring them down into my world in Atlantis and totally have sex with them. Bring them down. Oh no, they're drowning. Oh no, they're dead. That's a problem. Again. Middle of the Atlantic. Let's soldier on.
Right. Okay, so they like found their way to his bed. Fine.
Found their way.
Fine. I mean, that's how it's described. That's how it's described.
Because, they're lost.
Under the sea.
And he is just like, he is a sex addict. There's no other way to put it. And what he says about women is whatever they looked like, he didn't care. Quite simply, he loved women. He loved his power over them, and he wasn't ashamed of it. Wasn't repentant. Oh no, he enjoyed, relished, savored. So basically, nymphs in this book give off a hormone that make women, like, leap at them. Like, it doesn't matter how young or old they are. And I want to go into that at one point in the book, they say it doesn't even matter what your sexuality is. Like, they will jump, like, the women will jump after nymphs. Okay. Hold on. Just hold on to that life raft here.
Like a woman falling out of an airplane holding a parachute.
Right, yes. So, but the other side of that is that, so, like, Valerian is king, right? He has his warriors. And in order to retain their strength, they have to have sex, like, all the time.
Convenient. All right.
All right. So, yeah, so basically, like, the nymphs need sex all the time, and the women are more than happy to give it to them. So, the only time that they aren't sleeping around is when these nymphs find their, like, one true mate.
Are the nymphs exclusively male?
No, they are not. Okay. They are not. So, that's the other problem, is that the women have, since they've taken this castle, have mysteriously gone missing. They were supposed to meet them in the castle, and they never arrived. So, Valerian has already sent out... Yeah, he's already sent out, like, a whole, group to go and search for them, but he hasn't found them yet. And so basically, and he's kind of being an asshole because he's just had sex with 3 women. Meanwhile, his army is, like, sex depleted because there's nobody for them to have sex with.
No, honey. I love having sex with you all the time. I love the way it really hurts. We'll meet you there. See, we gotta go pick up some milk. Gotta go get some groceries. There's a lot of people to feed, and honestly, we burn so many calories having sex all the time that we need food, so we'll be back. We'll meet you at the castle. You just go ahead.
Bye-bye, boys. Have fun storming the castle.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so...
Good on them for getting out.
Well, actually, that's not how it is. Sorry about that. Sorry to tell you that.
I assumed, but I can believe.
His men are, like, kind of pissed at... Valerian's men are kind of pissed at him. Because they're like, hey, you've had all of this sex. We've got none. We're getting weaker by the minute. Like, and you just took 3 women. And he's like, you know what? You guys are right. I was kind of an asshole. Let's go to the above world. Let's go to the surface.
Let's go steal some ladies.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. He's like, we're going to go up, we're going to steal some women, and we're going to bring them back.
Oh man, this plot is starting out strong.
So good. So we cut to Shay Hawley, who is she's at a beach wedding, her mother's beach wedding. I think her name's Tamara, her mother. And it's her mom's 6th wedding.
Wow.
Yeah. So I want it known that Shay's mother put her daughter in a seashell bikini top and grass skirt as her bridesmaid. So, like, her mom's got some great taste there.
This is some reverse Ariel shit.
Yeah, it really... Yeah. Oh, that's a good way of putting it.
Reverse Ariel. Reverse Little Mermaid.
So, this bitch is as bitter as the blackest cup of coffee.
Awesome.
I mean, and I'm sorry, I mean Shay. So, she's just, like... Because... And it's like, it's justified, but also it's not, because she's bitter because of her mom's decisions with her wedding. Which I'm kind of like...
Okay, now...
That's...
Okay. My parents have divorced and remarried.
Right.
Of all the things to be bitter about, I don't think choices of the wedding would necessarily be it. It would be more like, woman, get your shit together.
Right. But she is pissed about that, but she also says in the book, like, she's not that close to her mom.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, okay. And then...
That's a whole family thing that...
Right. And she's also, like, bitter just because of men in general. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Well, I'm in the dating world, and I get it. Like, it's not. Like, well, she's not. You're not.
No,
you're
I actually
married.
don't get it.
Well, listeners, you'll understand. I'm hella single, and going out with guys is just, like, sometimes they just want to get you into bed. Sometimes, like, they don't call you back. But that's, like, there's no, like, real trigger for her. You know what I mean? Like, she's just kind of, like, overall bitter. And I'm like, I got kind of pissed at that. She literally says... You're forgetting something, Mom. I'm the Ice Princess of Bitter Slovakia, the Grand Duchess of Bitter Estonia, and the Queen of Bitterland.
Boy, that is some natural dialogue, let me tell you.
Yeah. It's really rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? This whole book is like that. Yeah.
How organic.
Wait till you hear Valerian talk. Good God. So
I'm just imagining grunts and caveman noises.
Shay and her mom are having a fight, like, off to the side of the beach, like, which is what you do on your own wedding day. Like,
sure,
you know, fine, whatever.
With everybody.
And so they're having this fight. They're kind of off on their own on the beach, but her mom kind of, like, goes dreamlike and is, like, dazed out. And Shay's like, Mom, what's wrong? And so there, rising out of the water like primitive sea gods, were 6 gloriously tall and muscled barbarians. The warriors were shirtless, and all of them possessed sinewy, washboard abs, skin so tanned it resembled liquid gold poured over steel, and faces any male supermodel would have envied. Only better. So much better.
Okay.
So, like, immediately when these guys arrive, Shay is ready. She's like, she literally describes herself wanting to strip down and display herself like an all-you-can-eat buffet. But she fights the feeling and stays away. I wish I could say the same about the other female guests at the party at this wedding.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
no.
but Valerian looks at her and is immediately pissed. Hasn't even talked to her, like, doesn't know her name.
Fuck you.
Kind of. And then he tells her with his finger, like, beckoning to come over. You know, like you would a child or a dog. Yeah, you know.
As you do.
She does have even though she's, like, super aroused, she has the presence of mind to shake no, and she runs with her mom back into the party and tries to call 911. Because she's like, there's these, like, I don't know if it's like 6 or 12 warriors who just came out of the sea with swords, shirtless, like, let's run!
Fuck boy, I'm out!
Fuck boy, I'm out! Fuck boy, I'm out! Exactly. Unfortunately, the sea gods walk right into the tent. And they just...
Aw, they're not fish people from the waist down. Darn.
Yeah. So, Valerian tells his men to gather all the women who don't have a boyfriend already.
At least they're considerate about that.
I mean, like... but, like, remember, so, and all the women are just ready. They are lining up, like, whatever this nymph drug is, it is working. It's so creepy. It is so creepy. So, I want, like, the fact that stuff like that happens, like, the men are like, you woman, come. And the women come, like, this book was written by a woman for women.
Oh my god.
When the feminists get pissy at us, they are gonna hold this book up and the feminists are gonna be like, God damn it. So, Shay...
Gena, what are you doing?
So, Shay asks Valerian what they want with the women, and his response is, what any man wants from you.
Hey, baby, you want some fuck?
Your body. You will belong to me. Now come. And he throws her over his shoulder, tells the men to grab the other women, who they don't need to grab, they're just coming, and they all walk into the ocean.
I would, again, like to pause for just a second. I do really appreciate this being turned on its head a little bit, because instead of getting the, like, helpless woman who's, like, you know, has the personality of cardboard, and then, you know, the big strong man, you just get, like, an oversimplified, low, like caveman style, right. You know, man, where it's just like, man want woman.
Well,
Woman come with man. Like, I kind of enjoy the oversimplification of the dude versus the simplification of the chick. I do appreciate that, at least at this point. I don't think it's gonna last.
No, it's so, like, I will say this about Shay. She does punch him in the face.
Yes!
And she does kick him in the balls.
Nice!
And he's like, why would you do that? Because, like, he's already decided that she is his mate, which means they mate for life, which is, like, 1 billion years.
Okay.
So he, like, finds her and he's like, nope, that's it. I'm only fucking this.
Man.
I'm only fucking this. That's it.
He is thirsty.
And so they've walked into the ocean. This is the women, the warriors, Shay and Shay over Valerian's shoulder. And, like, they're walking into the ocean and Shay is like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm gonna
Underwater! And he's like, Valerian's like, nope. And they literally go into, like, a toilet bowl whirlpool that flushes into the ocean, that flushes straight into Atlantis.
Be right back. I need to head to Atlantis real quick. Just gonna stand in my toilet and press the flusher.
Yeah. So Valerian tells his men to gather up the women once they get to Atlantis, so that each man can pick which kidnapped woman he wants. And I want to know that, like, remember, Valerian said or I may not have mentioned this, Valerian said before they went to the surface that the men get first pick of whatever woman that they find up there. So technically, Shay is fair game in this auction of women. Still holding on to that life raft.
Oh, God. Like a dying woman in the desert holding on to a bottle of Dasani.
Dasani, sponsor us.
Oh, God.
So at this point...
Okay, you know what really gets me going?
What?
Raping and pillaging.
Oh,
Keep
God.
going. Jesus Christ.
So... And Shay's mom also wants to go.
Oh, God, no! Oh, God, no!
She doesn't go. Her new husband, grabs her and carries her out of there, so she doesn't go, but she wants to go, which is really creepy.
Okay. Yeah,
So, we're back to Atlantis, though. We're in Atlantis. Shay has denied telling Valerian her name, and in response to his asking again, she responds with, "Up yours?" And so he calls her "up yours" for a bit, which is kind of funny. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, Valerian tries to take Shay to his room because he's like, "I'm gonna fuck you now." He claims that it's so that she can look at the view outside the window, but it's probably just for sex. And Shay gives him a hard pass on that, and he's like, "Fine, we'll go join the others at the women auction. Hopefully
Is he
my
actually
men won't
saying
pick
women
you."
auction?
He doesn't call it that. He calls it something very akin, though. Like, it's...
What does he say?
I can't remember.
Pause, look that shit up.
Okay,
I need
fine.
to know. Okay, so what do they call this human auction?
I'll just give you... There isn't a name, actually, for it, but I'll give you the dialogue. Okay, we will not steal... So Valerian says, we will not steal to... Valerian says to Shay, "We will not steal a moment for ourselves. We will join the others. I can only hope your prudish nature will prevent my men from choosing you." "Choosing me for what?" she bit out, ignoring the prudish comment. She suspected the answer, and she almost screamed when it came. His brows arched, and his lips dipped downward. "For their bedmate, of course."
Holy organic dialogue, Batman! Jesus Christ! Oh, so I did just have a thought.
Oh.
And it's very important to me.
Yes.
I'm just imagining this dude with his collection of ladies. Look at this bitch. Isn't she neat?
Oh my god!
Wouldn't you say my collection's complete?
Well, he's found the one. This is the trophy item.
Yeah.
This is the Eric to his Ariel, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
The Eric to his Ariel. Yes.
So,
Christ.
he's
Okay.
found it. And I feel like I didn't make this clear. The reason why he was pissed when he saw her is because he's like, "Well, now I can't fuck other women. Damn it." Yeah. That's
What?
why. Yeah.
Oh
'Cause
god,
he's
listeners,
found
you can't
his
see my
one-
face right now, and maybe that's the problem. Holy shit, really?
Yeah. He's like, he can't,
Oh
now he
my
can't fuck
God.
other women because nobody is ever going to be as good as Shay.
Darn.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He looked at her and he smelled her and he was like, "Yep, this is it."
Should get my husband down here and see what he thinks about marriage. Oh no, only one person. Good God.
Yeah. Well, God, I feel sorry for Shay though, because he needs so much sex. This guy Valerian needs so much sex.
Insatiable. I'm only hope that
Yeah.
she becomes immortal-ish too, so that at least
She does.
Okay, well.
Yeah, well,
Keep
okay.
going. Lady auction.
So now Valerian has to figure out how to keep his men from picking Shay, because Valerian promised them that he would give them first dibs, so if they choose Shay, then he's in for a world of trouble, because he can't let anyone else have her. So Shay also doesn't want to be picked, but she doesn't want to be with Valerian, but he's her only defender right now in this underwater kingdom.
Okay.
And he's kind of she said no already to sex, and he's
Defender's
back.
a strong word.
Yeah, I know, but the only
Yeah.
person she knows. All right, Stockholm Syndrome's step 2 probably. We've already probably crossed step 1. Because she's forced to trust him.
Right.
You know? And he has been woman sex, and she's been no, and he's been all right, that's fine.
Okay.
All right. That is the only light in this book, let me tell you. So, she doesn't want to be picked. She doesn't want to be with anybody else. And he's like, "All right, I'll make sure nobody else picks you if you tell me your name." And so the first warrior, Broderick, gets to pick his bedmate, and he gets up to Shay, and he literally parts her grass skirt to look at the property
plumbing.
below.
The
yeah.
plumbing.
And Shay immediately spits out her name. And so Valerian tells Shay to kick Broderick in the nuts. And she does.
Isn't Broderick, like, there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is very weird.
Yeah.
So literally, I think Shay is standing there in the line, but Valerian is standing behind her, basically, with a hand on her shoulder. And is, like, being very, very possessive, but, like, is also, the guys are still kind of like, yeah, we'll take a look at this one, see if I want this one.
Okay.
It's great. It's fine. It's fine. So, it's not fine, guys.
No.
And so, for every man that tries to pick up Shay, Valerian tells her how to keep the man away from her.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, whispers it in her ear, as if they wouldn't hear.
Right.
So she's pretty much gone along with what he said until this guy named Siobhan tries to pick up a girl. And the girl doesn't want to go. And so Shay is like, you need to stop this from happening, Valerian. You need to stop this. And he's like, what will you do? You know, what will you give me? And she's like, yeah. It's like, Shay, and she's like, I'll be nice to you if you stop that guy from raping that girl. Thanks, Valerian. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
And he does. He agrees to that. He tells Siobhan, you can't take that girl if she doesn't want to be taken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am so down the rabbit hole of problematic that I don't really know what to do with myself. But okay, keep going.
I know. So then we hit a snag because Hakeem picks Shay. And Hakeem is Valerian's cousin, and he picks Shay.
Damn it, Hakeem.
Yeah, right? So Valerian is like, you can have any of the other ones. And he's like, nope, I want that one because you want that one. And Shay is like, I'm right here, guys.
Can't she? Okay, wait. If Valerian made it so that the one dude couldn't take the chick because she didn't want to go, couldn't Shay just say, no thank you, and then he couldn't take her?
When I said take her, I meant to have sex with her. Siobhan still walked out with that girl who didn't want to go.
Okay, alright, oh.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and Hakeem is already unhappy because...
so uncomfortable right now.
You're uncomfortable? I was reading this book!
No! Okay.
So Hakeem is already unhappy too because he wanted the girl that Siobhan just walked off with. So he's like, all right, Valerian, I'll fight you for her tomorrow, for Shay.
Oh man,
I will fight
sexy
for Shay
shirtless
tomorrow.
man battle.
Yeah, exactly.
Do any of them have pants on at this moment?
They have pants on.
Oh,
they have pants on. They wear leather pants at this point.
Why? They're underwater. Who cares? Also, we never discussed how everyone's breathing. Are we talking like a bubble biodome situation?
It's a bubble biodome situation
Okay.
in a cat. I don't know. None of that is properly explained.
Y'all, I'm a scientist. I want to know this.
Okay, so moving ahead. So they both agree that they're not gonna touch Shay that night. Both Hakeem
how considerate.
and Valerian.
It's so nice of them to take into consideration her feelings.
No, they're not, because they're both like, the fight isn't until tomorrow.
Awesome.
So whoever wins the fight gets Shay, but nobody can have her that night.
God.
And so Hakeem is like, you're already all like sexed out. You had sex with 3 women last night. You know, I'm like on empty here. And Valerian's like, you can have those women. And Hakeem goes off with those women, and then it's just, it's Valerian and Shay
again. He's so powerful now.
Right. Well, sort of. So, day becomes night. They go to Valerian's room.
This is just death by snoo-snoo. And it's worse because the more they do it, the more powerful they get. It's over 9,000. You cannot contain my power.
Well, so like, here's the oh god, I can't even get so much. We gotta move along. We gotta keep moving. We have to keep moving. Okay, so he takes her to his room that has like a guest bedroom that's adjoining, and he's like,
at least he's not a savage. He has a guest bedroom.
If you come into my room though, because there's like a curtain between the rooms, he's like, if you come into my room, I will have sex with you.
Is this Shane or
not
Shane?
This is Valerian. Valerian with Shay. He's like, if you come into my room,
we're
doing it. I'm taking it as an invitation. And she's like, oh god. So she spends the night trying to escape, like trying to figure out a way out of the room. Because the only way out of the room is through, of course, Valerian's room. and passes out on the ground in the middle of looking.
Whose house is set up like that?
It's a castle. It's a castle, remember. So this is like a wing.
Yeah, but... Okay, here's something that makes sense. Hallway opens up to the master bedroom. Great. And if you look in through this door, you'll also see the guest bedroom. You know, so that anyone that stays with me has to see my fat ass every time they want to leave the goddamn room. What the hell?
Okay, so she just passes out on the floor, though, in the middle of looking, just, like, tumbles to the ground.
What a weak woman.
And, well, it's also, like, my note is, like, it's very like The Sims. Just,
oh no! Her little sleep gauge is low. Falls over.
Exactly. She's on red. Oh god, her little diamond thing is red.
I hope they provided her with a toilet and some food also. Otherwise, it's going to be a bad situation for everyone involved.
Well, so he picks her up and puts her in the bed, and then he leaves the room, and he doesn't do anything, which I'm like...
Has anyone at this point peed?
Nobody pees in Atlantis.
It's Atlantis. The world is your bathroom.
The world is, yeah. And so everything that Valerian says in this book, or everything Shay says, is turned sexual by Valerian. Everything. So Shay says something that Valerian does sucks, and he says, like, I would like to suck you. Everything. Everything!
Oh no.
Like, everything that she's like, this is so fucking annoying, like, get me out of here, take me home. He's like, sex, sex, sex.
Oh no.
So the next day is the day of Valerian and Hakeem's fight for Shay. And for the crown of Atlantis.
Oh, snap, when that happened?
Yeah, that happens at the beginning of the fight. He's like...
Okay. Oh, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, we're
job.
fighting. We're fighting for all of Atlantis.
Oh my god.
So before the fight, Valerian...
I bet this is where they got the idea for all that stuff in Black Panther. This definitely seems like a book that they would have used for inspiration.
Is this your king?
You know... City in a bubble, away from the world, no one knows it's there. Totally basically the same
right,
thing.
Exactly,
Come on,
exactly. God damn it.
You're welcome.
Forever ruined for me.
I just watched that movie, so, you know.
That movie is so good,
mind.
though.
It was pretty darn good.
Let's get rid of Atlantis, though, and say Wakanda forever.
Oh, God. Atlantis forever.
No! We cannot have t-shirts of that!
Oh, God.
God, I'm gonna be so loud. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, my God. This waveform. Okay.
Sorry about that. Valerian forcefully kisses Shay before the fight, and she's, like, gone. History, she's like, whoa, that was, like, the hottest kiss. Because remember, she's still, like, feeling all of the nymph stuff, of the nymph hormones of, like, I'm super attracted to you. She's just been trying to, like, not give in to it. So... Thankfully, or maybe not thankfully, I don't know, Valerian wins the fight, and when he does, he announces to the world that Shay is his mate and his queen, and anyone else who tries to take her away from him will meet the end of his literal sword. His literal sword, not like
his penis.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
But he is injured, so he tries to take her back to his room because, quote, sex strengthens him. He will heal faster once he has penetrated Shay, end quote. Oh no. So you have to, but her response is, okay, but her response is, quote, I'm going on record now saying I don't give a shit and my answer is no.
Okay.
End quote. Good girl.
Good for her.
So he's like, fine, we'll do it the old fashioned way. And he's like, has her tend to his wounds. Like put sand in them and shit. And I'm serious, sand.
What?
Like magic sand. And so she does it the entire time. He's trying to convince her to get into his bed and he says no. So...
She says no.
She says no. Sorry. She says no. And, Yeah.
Like an astronaut in space, I'm clinging to my oxygen tank. Keep going.
So Valerian is, like, had very much enough of Shay's saying no, and goes off to hang out with Siobhan, who has also had a girl, the girl who didn't want to go with him, whose name is Brenna.
Okay, so here's how this scene plays out. They're at the fish bar, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
With their drinks. Man, I don't know. Everything I do, she's just not, you know, I'm doing everything they say I should. I'm doing it the way I should. She's just not into me. I don't know what to do.
Exactly.
All I did was take her away from her family, force her into a relationship under the sea, and keep trying to have sex with her, and I don't understand it.
So no, this is that boiled down. Bitches, man. Bitches. So Siobhan,
Fishes
though,
before bitches.
Yes! Oh my god. Fishes before bitches is gonna be a t-shirt. Please God.
Please.
So
No.
Siobhan has this great idea. He's like, how about letting Shay sit with the women who have already had sex with Valerian and the other nymphs, and she can hear about how wonderful it is.
Great idea. Man, this guy is a top-notch wingman.
Valerian is like, wow, what a great idea. I hadn't thought of that. So Valerian deposits Shay with the other girls who have been abducted and goes and has warrior practice with the other men.
Manly.
All the women, and the women are just so creepy. They're just all like so happy to be there.
Huge pasted on smiles like, this is so great.
Well, they're all like it's like they're on a drug, and that drug is like an ongoing orgasm.
Valerian?
Not all Valerian.
No, but that's the drug.
Right.
Valerian.
Yes, exactly. Oh my god, yes. Accurate. So probably. So later on, Valerian had promised Shay that if she was behaved and was a good girl, she could go to the outer city of Atlantis.
Oh no.
And he takes her out there, and they actually have a really good day.
Aw, how cute. It's like a date.
Yeah, exactly.
A date that she has no choice in the matter.
It's like Beauty and the Beast in the ball scene a little bit, where like they have this like good day.
Yeah, but at least she wanted it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, she kind of wants it too, because she sees the outer city, and Shay is like, this looks really cool, I want to go there. And he's like, okay.
Beauty and the Beast is a really bad Stockholm Syndrome-y kind of deal too, isn't it?
Yeah, but sorry, babe.
You mean Disney hasn't been giving me all of the best life lessons, like, you know, Sleeping Beauty and date rate? Wait. Oh, right.
No. Okay, exactly. So they get back, they have dinner, and they're kind of Valerian plays this game where he's like, I'll ask you, tell me something about your life, and I'll tell you something about mine. And immediately he goes into a missing twin story.
What?
So Shay learns that Valerian's brother, Varen, whose name was Varen, was taken by the Gorgons and that he was killed by them. He enters into the conversation like Jon Snow, immediately ready to say winter is coming, life is hard attitude. Like that's the first thing that he tells about himself is that his brother was killed by Gorgons.
I don't.
What a great conversation starter.
I don't even have an analogy for suspension of disbelief anymore. I can't even think of one. Oh my god.
You're on Mars, you're Matt Damon on Mars, desperately trying to get those potatoes.
Like a woman forced into Atlantis. Holding on to the drug that Nymph's apparently involved.
So Shay asks Valerian as like, you know, a warm-up question what his first sexual experience was. And it's not that exciting, so I'm not going to go into it. It really isn't. It's boring.
Okay.
And so then Valerian asks about Shay's first time, and she's like, it hasn't happened yet. And to which she's a virgin. To which his response is, from this moment on, there will be no more talking, only doing. Which is, you know, I'm sure is comforting for any virgin to hear. Let's just get after it.
Oh my
God.
Honey, you know, we've been dating for a little while. I'm a virgin. Get to fucking. Like, that's not the appropriate response.
That's not at all. So.
Oh, baby.
And she responds with, what happened to giving me everything that I want? And his response is, you do not know what you want, which made me want to hurl my goddamn Kindle against the wall. Hey, baby, you don't know what you want. You've only taken care of yourself for the past, however, 20-something years.
Oh my god.
Good God. Okay,
no.
So, but she says no again, and he agrees to that. He's like, all right, if you mean no, you mean no.
Surprising amount of self-control.
Really? I mean, well, not really. That's basic human decency.
You're right.
So,
oh my god, this is what I'm falling to. This book has just,
I can't believe I remained this strong. I had to reread it again last night, and I was like, oh my god.
I am so just like,
all right.
It's lulled me into this sense of, great, now not raping someone is self-control versus basic human dignity or decency. Like, what the shit?
So he goes and takes a toddler pouting bath. And yeah, that's what I called it.
Stomping his feet.
Right.
No.
Exactly. So then Brenna comes into the room.
Who's Brenna?
She's the girl who didn't want to go with Siobhan earlier. Yeah. Her name is Brenna. And Brenna and Shay get to talking. They're both overwhelmed. They're freaked out. They don't know what to do because she hasn't succumbed to this Nymph thing. And it's both because they've got some sort of level of bitterness to them. I don't have time to go into Brenna's deal, but yeah. So Brenna's like, do you think we could survive the toilet bowl whirlpool together? Like, if we left together, would we make it out? Because you were saying, like you said earlier, like, if you go alone, or I don't know.
There's a lot of math that goes into that, and I don't have time to explain all of the ways that's not gonna work.
Well, so, hold on to those potatoes. And Shay jumps
all right.
up.
I have 2 fistfuls of potatoes. Let's go.
So Shay jumps on the idea. They try to escape, and they leave Valerian in the bath. So Brenna and Shay are running down the hall trying to get to the swirling toilet of doom and death to escape, but they see perhaps the most terrifying thing out of this entire book. Shay looks behind her and sees Valerian, butt naked, running down the hall after her with, I'm imagining dick first.
Windmilling.
Yeah.
Just helicoptering down.
I more imagine like oh god, just it really hard and oh god. So Shay doesn't make it very far before he grabs her. He drags her back to his room and is like, no, we're having sex. And he actually does put on a whole seduction routine and really just gets her going and gets her all excited. And he says to her, if you ask me to leave, I'll go. I will leave you alone. I will not force myself on you. And she doesn't say anything. So he takes that as an invitation. And yeah.
Friends.
Oh boy.
Silence does not mean yes. Yes means yes.
I mean, we are in the perspective of Shay, and that is yes for her. But for if you're wondering, just ask. Just tell them to tell you.
If you offer someone a very hot cup of tea and they don't say anything, that does not give you license to shove the tea in their fucking face.
I'm not saying that this book is okay. I'm saying it as the person who read it.
Look how far I've fallen just listening to this.
Right. So
you just don't fucking
He finally gets what he wants. They start getting nasty, and he's dangling her orgasm in front of her, forever. Just you're so close, I can bring you over the edge. And she's finally like, Valerian, I'm glad you like how I tasted everything, but you've got a point to prove here, and I'm a little disappointed that I have to remind you of that fact.
Get your shit together,
right?
Come on.
She's like, you finally got what you want. Can you please just get on with it? So, of course, the cliche happens, and a warrior comes into the room. And is like, the dragons are back! Yay! We gotta fight the dragons!
Okay, so we have Atlanteans, Gorgons, and dragons.
Oh, and there's also vampires, but we're not gonna get into that.
You can't just leave that! What? Is this a series? This has got
there's a series. There's a series.
Jesus.
So
Holy Poseidon.
During this battle that he has to go off to, he puts her someplace where she's gonna stay safe. But she manages to escape that place, and she gets up to the toilet bowl of doom with Brenna, and Shay has a choice. She's like, I can leave and live my life and try to survive, or survive the toilet bowl of doom, or I can stay and admit that I love Valerian, because apparently she loves him. Don't know why. And she stays. Yeah.
His big dick energy was too powerful.
So they sorry, I'm thinking of names. Valerian finds out that Shay had the opportunity to leave, but she didn't. And he's super happy about that, obviously. So they go back to his room and have
Brenna survive?
Mind-blowing sex. Brenna, wait, what?
The other chick?
Yeah, she's fine. Well, she's not.
Did she go?
She didn't go. She stayed below too.
She could have lived.
She could have lived. Yeah, well, she's got kind of this polyamory thing almost going on, so. Okay.
Sure.
So she's torn between Hakim, who is her mate, and Siobhan, who, like, really cares about her. So,
Okay.
and there's this weird scene where she has to pick between the two of them, and Hakeem is like, tie me up to the bed. And she's like, why though? And he's like, you've lost control of your life, your sexual life. I'm gonna tie myself up so that you can feel more comfortable having sex with me.
I can't even begin to unpack that.
That's why I wasn't gonna mention it.
No, I'm glad you did.
Okay, okay.
But,
Okay, so...
oh my god.
So Shay and Valerian have been having all the sex, and I just want to point this out, they're lounging at the side of a pool, and she says her body was sore, but her spirit was invigorated.
Why is there a pool underwater?
They're in the bath.
Why are there baths underwater?
I don't know. Okay, so,
that's not how, okay.
So,
Physics is a thing.
It's the next day, I can't remember when, Shay's back in bed, he's probably just had sex with her, and so he tells her a secret that he's been kind of dangling in front of her the whole book. What's the most erotic place on a woman's body? Can you guess?
Please, is it like her elbow or something? Man, I just see those weenuses and I just get so horny, so thirsty.
You like that?
Oh god, no!
I just showed her mine. So, it is her mind. By giving her the right images, a man can increase her pleasure 100 times. So what's the most erotic place on a man's body?
His butt.
His heart.
Oh no.
So
her mind is the sexiest thing about her. Not because she's smart, but because she has a good imagination for fucking? I don't know. Oh, God.
You've broken this down so much better than I did. But I had to deal with all of it. Like, I feel like I'm still processing.
I don't know how to deal with it. That's the problem.
Okay, so Valerian goes back to deal with Nymph warrior things, and Shay's lounging in bed, and these dragons come in. And they're like, don't worry, baby, we got you. And she's like, you got me for what?
Man dragons.
Man dragons.
Animorph dragons.
I'm sorry, I should have clarified. Animorph dragons.
Animorph dragons, got it.
Yeah, animorph dragons.
This isn't your kids' animorphs.
So they come in, they're like, don't worry, babe, we got you. And she's like, got me for what? And they take her back up to the surface, which is kind of exactly what she wanted.
Okay.
Because they're like, we want to deplete the nymphs of their power, so let's take away all of their women so that they won't have anyone to have sex with.
They have some really, like, piss poor defenses if the dragon was like, hey, come on, guys.
There were some dragons in their prison, and that's who got out, and they broke out, which is like the same thing. Not very good defenses.
No, not great.
But remember, it's not their castle. The nymphs stole this castle from the dragons. He takes her back up to the surface, and Brenna, and all the other women, and the other women immediately forget what has happened. And I just want to point out, like, and they've been having, all these women have been, like, fucking all damn day. And all I could think about during this book was STDs, pregnancy.
Pregnancy is the big one.
And now they can't remember that they've had sex with anyone.
No! Oh, no!
That is so bad. That is so problematic. You are horrified. You were as horrified as I was when and Shay does point out at a point in the book, like, she talks about, like, how are you guys not spreading around STDs with all this communal sex happening? And he just doesn't answer.
I don't know. I don't know how to respond.
Yep. So all these poor women are back on the surface. They don't remember anything. And they're, like, half of them are probably pregnant.
Surprise, baby.
Yeah.
You know, I bet.
Horrible.
I bet that's. You know that show? I didn't know I was pregnant.
Oh my god!
I bet this is why that exists.
Like, sex god babies.
I don't know, Jerry. My baby has gills. Jerry.
Oh god. So
Goldfish, you are not the father.
Shay and Brenna are on the surface though, and they want to get back because Brenna wants to go back to Hakeem, and Shay wants to get back to Valerian. So they both go back through the toilet bowl of doom.
And do they survive?
Well, so then, cut away. There's been another character who has not made a much impact on the plot, but hasn't been in the story. No. It's Poseidon. Walking around the castle, having sex with random girls, and
he's been there the whole time? Yeah. He hasn't even been in a different fucking castle?
No. He's kind of like, he hasn't really been doing a lot of anything. He's kind of been watching things implode and enjoying it. And so, like, he drags Brenna and Shay out of the whirlpool, out of the toilet bowl of doom, and they're nearly drowned. They've nearly drowned. And he's like, what the fuck were you guys doing? You could have died. And they're like, but we love them. And he's like, what the fuck, bitches? All right, you know.
Is the toilet bowl of doom just off the coast of Florida? Like, it's
just there.
Okay.
It's just there.
Anyone
they
can
just walk
find
into
it.
the sea.
Awesome.
Yeah, so Poseidon's like, all right, bitches, like, if that's what you want. And he deposits them back to Atlantis and back to the arms of Valerian and Hakim, where Brenna and Shay live happily ever after.
That is the most Deus Ex Machina thing.
Wow. Just, oh my god, I'm exhausted.
I think the Greeks, I think, had it wrong. Because you read the description of, a definition of what a nymph is. They just had it wrong. Nymphs have been dudes this whole time.
This whole time.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, it's like this book for me personally. My initial reaction to this book is I am terrified because, like, the idea of this is just horrifying to me.
So many aspects of it are horrifying.
So bad.
Can I let go of my?
Yes. You could let go. It's over. The horror is over.
Walk peacefully into that dark night and just release my suspension of disbelief.
Yes, please do.
Oh my god! I feel like I need some Valerian. My anxiety level is just off the charts. Oh my god. Okay. So. I don't even know. So we're gonna unpack this into three categories in our little discussion review section, which is to say the story, the main male character, and the main female character, or rather just the two main love interests. And,
right. Mm-hmm.
I don't really know where to start. Who do we start with?
I'm gonna start with.
Let's maybe pick the easiest one to unpack and then work towards.
Which one is that? I don't even know.
Okay, so Shay.
Yeah, Shay. Okay.
Okay, she seems pretty... Okay, no, sorry. Valerian.
Yeah.
He has one thing that he wants, and that motherfucker knows exactly what he wants, and that's it.
That's the only good thing about his character.
His personality is fucking.
Yeah. And that's it. It's fucking and fighting.
Yeah.
Fucking and war making. That's it.
So, again, oversimplification of male. Okay, alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's, he's, like, that's all he is. He's a giant hunk of
man meat.
Man flesh.
Like...
The
way you said that was infinitely more upsetting than the way I said it. Oh, no.
Well, yeah, we're both at a loss here.
I really am.
There's nothing else really to his character. Just him boning ladies, and now boning one lady.
Fucking fighting.
Yeah.
Maybe at the same time. You don't know. We did have to differentiate at one point between his sword and his penis, so same thing, I guess. Okay, great.
Yeah,
awesome.
Is that all we got for him?
That's all there is.
That is very easy. Shay is also pretty easy too, though.
At least initially.
Well, she's just kind of like really fights it to the point where I'm like, maybe she's gonna get out of this. You know, maybe she'll leave.
Nice.
Would have been really nice. It would have been
nice. Like an M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong-esque twist. Like, surprise! Not romance at all. She just escapes a bad situation. Yay!
Yay!
Oh god.
but she's not, but even in the beginning I said, like, she's kind of bitter for no reason. I'd be bitter if something like this happened to me.
Yeah.
And then nobody would ever believe you.
She has a reason now.
She has a reason to be bitter. She's several reasons to be bitter.
Why didn't she not remember anything?
Because she loves him.
Oh. Love saves the day. The power of love.
Yeah. Yeah, because she loves him. That's it. And, like, I want to... So at the beginning of the book, there's also this, this is more of the plot, I'm sorry.
That's okay, no.
At the beginning of this book, there's this part where they're at the wedding, and it's all the men, and this other dude who's a guest at the wedding tries to, like, come up to the guys, because he digs the guys. He digs the sex gods, because he's gay, and they tell him, be a man. Get away from us. What? This is so homophobic. It's such a homophobic thing to say.
I hate it. I hate this book.
Yeah.
I hate... Gina, I don't like to judge people without knowing them.
I'm kind of
judging
you right now.
Oh my god. I don't hate you.
I don't hate you. I am judging you. I'm really concerned. I'm really, really concerned.
You can't...
And at one point in the book, they also say, Siobhan and Valerian also say, like, it doesn't matter what the woman's sexual attraction is, because they're always sexual preferences, because they're always going to go after the nymphs. And it's like,
you know what cures someone of their homosexuality? A big enough dick.
A big nymph dick.
BNF. Wait, BND. That's it.
Yeah, BND. Where's the F?
I don't fucking know. BNFD.
Big nymph.
Fucking dick. Jesus.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Poseidon. Poseidon is actually kind of true to Greek god character, because he is kind of just, like, watching it all happening and being like, I think he does, like, maybe during the book, you have to understand, this book was very hard to read, so there were some points where I was like, let's skim this.
Can I just, like, I'm really legitimately impressed that you were able to finish this garbage fire of a book. Like, it is just a literal dumpster fire. I don't know how they got a dumpster fire underwater, but they somehow managed to do that.
It's like SpongeBob with the fire underwater. It was impossible, but happened.
God, I feel like I need a shower.
I know.
Well, I just spent the last hour, like, going through a toilet. I feel like I just got out of a toilet bowl to Atlantis. That is the state of my mental being at this moment.
Lush.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Well, so I actually was reading last night. So, like, I read this because I had to reread it, of course, because I didn't write notes the first time, like an idiot. And I was reading, like, a legit novel. I started The Name of the Wind, and I was like, this is like a breath of fresh air.
Thank God.
This is like walking outside after being in a like
sauna.
Like after being no,
but not even nice like sauna.
Portalette, like a hot portalette. It's like walking outside after being in a hot portalette.
A hot porta potty.
Yeah. Like that's been there for 3 days.
God.
Oh.
You never know. Maybe the portalette is actually the toilet bowl to Atlantis.
So are we gonna give this book a 1 out of 5?
I got it. Yeah.
At least, I mean, like,
yeah.
If we have to stay in the positives, a 1 out of 5.
Yeah, I mean, like,
because there's also like the plot is very weak.
There is no redeeming factor. It's homophobic. It's
very, very triggery.
It is very triggery.
Very triggery
in a lot of ways.
Very triggery for sexual assault.
Yeah,
yes.
Real sexual assaulty.
I do not recommend this book to anyone, even if you want to read it for a joke. I don't think that you should.
No, it just makes me uncomfortable.
It makes me uncomfortable. I'm really concerned about Gena, our good friend Gena, who wrote this book.
Gina,
she's not our friend. I'm sorry, but like, honey, are you okay?
You need some. Blink twice. Blink twice if you need some help. Oh my! Like just. Homophobic undertones just really, that's like the icing on this toilet cake. Oh no.
I just imagine a cake of a toilet and then there's like in the middle of the like where the water is, it's just Atlantis like with a castle.
When we reach our 100th episode, I'm gonna make a cake and it's gonna be a toilet bowl with like jello in it, with people looking like they're lounging in it like a hot tub. Just the Nymph King. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, no, please don't read this, guys. There's no amount of recommendations.
No, and even, like I said again, do not read this as a joke. It's just not
great.
It's not great. We read it as a joke, and I have survived.
I don't know how. I barely did, and
wow.
Yeah, no.
Wow. And here's the thing about it. It's not even just a Kindle book. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like they printed this. This was put onto dead trees.
This is in...
I mean, I thought Twilight was bad.
History, which really makes me sad.
Really makes me really sad.
Oh, okay. All right, so you mentioned Breath of the Wind, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is our first episode. I want to kind of...
Oh, right, yeah.
A little bit of grounding for our listeners. We, at the end of this, again, just true underwater dumpster fire of a book, I'd like to get sort of a, what did you read when you needed a break from the Nymph King's overwhelming pheromones?
So I have been reading Nicholas Nickleby, which is lovely and I love it. Yummy. So many yummy characters in that book. It's by Charles Dickens. I've been kind of trying to get back into Dickens because I love his book David Copperfield. But it's also like he was paid per word. It's very long. He was like, I'm gonna get all the money I can.
It's like going to the grocery store and paying in pennies.
Right.
1, 2.
Yes, exactly. So he really used that to his advantage. So sometimes I'm like a little tired from that. So I did just pick up The Name of the Wind. And here, let me see who it's by Patrick Rothfuss, which
he's a Cincinnati author, isn't he?
Is he? If he is, that's amazing.
Hang on.
He might be a comic. Is he a comic expo today?
So the reason that I think he's Cincinnati is because I'm pretty sure he was actually, when we went to that show, the Adventure Zone live reading for their comic book, he, I think, was the mediator for it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the mediator for it. He's from Cincinnati.
Oh, well, I'm only like 20 pages in, but I already really like it. Like,
yeah, he does the Kingkiller Chronicles. I've heard really good things about it.
I've heard about those too. Well, so my friend Catherine recommended this book to me, and she actually, God bless her, she wanted me to read it so bad that she loaned it to me, like her copy of it.
Oh, man.
And so, like, I've just started it probably last night, and I'm only like 30 pages in, but I already really like it. I just like the writing style.
Let me know how that is, because I really wanted to read that. Like, I just totally escaped my mind that I wanted to read his stuff. So yeah, let me know. I will. Yeah.
So far I like it. Good. Yeah.
I've heard really good things.
I'm so exhausted from this book though.
I know.
I feel like I've just gotten over a flu.
Oh god, yeah, no, yeah. I feel like I need a shower.
Right.
Ugh. Okay. Well, so thank you guys so much for listening.
Tell us what you think of this book, what your thoughts were. If you read it, either whether you enjoyed it or not, please tell us. We're not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or,
One of my favorite sayings, we don't yuck any yums here. This is a safe space.
This is a safe space. But if you, we didn't enjoy it, but if you want to tell us what you did, please do. We would love to hear about it. And we really are, nice. We promise.
And if you have any recommendations of other books, we're always looking for them. Right now, I just go to my library's romance novel section, which is hilarious. No one's ever there. It's only just me holding down the fort. So if you have any recommendations for books you think we might enjoy or hate or both, let us know. Hit us up on Twitter at Textual Tension Pod, on Instagram at Textual Tension Pod,
and you can find us on Gmail, textualtensionpod@gmail.com. We also have a website, textualtensionpod.com. It's all the same, guys.
We lucked
out. Easy.
And that's TextualTensionPod. I can spell really well.
I can tell.
I can English so good.
It's all that reading. Reading rainbow.
Oh no.
And last but certainly not least, we want to give a huge thank you to the artist Ayla Nereo for the use of her song Oh Love off of the album Beheld. We're really fortunate to find it, and it really is a great
Thanks guys
tune.
for joining us.
Check out her
see
stuff.
you in 2 weeks.